My beauties, my wonderful, wonderful, beautiful people. A pleasant afternoon to everybody. No, beautiful people. I was scrolling TikTok, while, during my break or lunchtime or something of the sort. So I came across this post of a nice looking young girl I saw, and dark skinned, and you're going to understand why I mentioned the dark skinned. And lo and behold, she said she was going somewhere. She seemed to be from the rural areas and so on. And she was going somewhere, and like she came out of her vehicle, and she was crossing the road. She noticed that a man kind of gave her some bad looks. She got a bad energy, a bad vibe from a man, and he crossed over onto the other side of the road. But because she saw a man who was of seemingly unsound mind, or maybe of unsound mind, she was trying to cross back over where the man had crossed over to. So when she crossed over, she noticed the man hissed his teeth. I think when he had crossed over initially, the first time, my apology, hissed his teeth and so on. But I guess she didn't pay to the man because she maybe didn't relate, think it was in relation to her. So, as I said, getting away from the man of unsound mind, she crossed back over. So she would have gone over to the side where the man who had hissed his teeth would have been over. And she said he looked at her and he said, "May we get rid of you, but him use the K word. K-I-L-L. May we get rid of you, May we get rid of you, Me no like black people." Let me pause right there. May we get rid of you, may we get rid of you, Me no like black people. She's dark skinned, as I said to you guys. And she said the man is actually dark skinned as well. She said he proceeded to say to her if she wasn't ashamed to know that she's that black to come on the road. Is she no shame say she this black and coming on the road? Let me remind you again. She's dark-skinned, and the man who is saying this to her is dark-skinned. So he's asking her all these questions, saying all these things, crossing over because he sees this woman who has the same complexion. Maybe he could be a little bit darker as he does. And when she crossed over back, he got really annoyed, and incensed, and said that he would, it's a manner of expression, maybe, well, let's hope, and that it was not just a manner of expression, as how old-time Jamaican people use when they're scolding their children or when they're angry. They just use that. May we K you, may we K you, The man said, "Me don't like black people." And he said she should be embarrassed to go on the road being that black. She should be embarrassed to go on the road being that black. And he even asked her if isn't she afraid that they would K her, get rid of her, because she's so black. And the poor young miss, said that, what, I think I'm going to avoid coming on the road. It's not in its entirety, because she has to come on the road at some point in time. But I guess that verbal abuse, that psychological abuse was so traumatic that it could put her in such a tailspin that she would be in trepidation coming out the next time she does, because she's not going to be sure what next would be hurled at her. I began thinking, when I looked at her, yes, she's dark-skinned, but I said, I've seen women darker than that or men darker than that. And if she could get that kind of treatment and, the colorism being emitted to her, can you imagine the ones who are darker? And can I tell you this, beautiful people, I'm not saying people of a lighter complexion may not say these things to people, because I may have seen it, I can't recall. But I've often seen people of similar complexion curse people of dark complexion. So dark, the pot cussing the kettle. I'm not saying that you have people who are lighter who don't do it, but generally you don't find it. You don't generally find them doing that. And I marvel to myself, because the man was very angry. It wasn't a joke. That is not a joke that anybody runs and calls it a joke. It is serious. It's not a joke that anybody runs and calls it a joke. It is a serious thing. And the man is saying to the young lady, she's not afraid her life will be taken away because of her color, her blackness, and he would get rid of her. And he crossed her over because she's too black. So he saw her, can't stand to see this blackness, so he crossed over. Maybe he thought it would make him darker because he's already dark, and maybe he thought that her being on the same side would rub off and make him darker than what he already is and detests and hates. I remember a very popular TikToker was sort of in a cascas with people from a different Caribbean island. And I never forgot the woman from the other Caribbean island, a black woman, not necessarily dark skin average, I would say, said to, that she said about the girl, the popular TikToker, that she's cursed with blackness. She said she is cursed with blackness. This is a black woman. I mean, in terms of her, what you would call her ethnicity. She may not have been that dark-skinned, but she said she said it with such venom. She said it with such anger. She said it with such precision. She said it with, when somebody's trying to be very accurate, in other words, they are wrong and strong, but they're convinced that they're right and strong. And told the young miss that she's cursed with blackness. Mighty God. And yet, we chide, we reprimand, we get angry, we feel a sense of angst, anxiety, all of these emotions towards our white ethnic counterpart. Yet, we chant fire and brimstone against them when they hit out against us. You know what I mean? And the point that I'm making is they're of a different ethnic group. So I'm not lauding it, and I'm not praising it. I'm not saying it is right. But when you are of the same group, same race, and you're telling somebody that they're cursed with blackness, and you're crossing over the other side of the road because a person of your complexion is on the same hand as you, and you don't want to associate with them, that to the point that you want them to be annihilated, to be gotten rid of because them too black. Don't you see how twisted, how warped the mind is of some people? That they have never understood what it means to be emancipated, to be liberated, to be independent. They have no idea of that. Because this is a man who hates himself. I hope he's not involved with. And if he's in, obviously it wouldn't be somebody of the woman's complexion, and could be. And maybe he's very angry to know that he's involved with somebody of that complexion, because it reminds him of what? Being cursed? What does it remind him of? That he could tell somebody of his complexion, the same shade, that he would have gotten rid of her. And if she's not ashamed to come on the road with that level of blackness. If she's not ashamed. Mighty God. Right here in Jamaica. So colorism is here, my beautiful people. It's here. It has not gone. It has not left the island. I'm not sure it's going to leave the island anytime soon. I remember a dark-skinned woman coming to me and telling me how a particular person, big, fat, black and ugly, and she saw a man on the television because he's dark-skinned, and how the man or the black pierce on the man. Same way, so pierce on. He just black and it pierce on. Like, that's exactly. And she's dark-skinned. They pierce on the black. Oh, what a web we weave when we try to deceive. We're in trouble. That's it. And I'm scared for us as a black race. As a black people, I'm scared for us. We're in trouble. Because look at where we're at in this 21st century. May God help us. Guys, you know what to do, read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions. Thank you.